You are watching Oklahoma's News Channel 4 at 10.
Oh man, put an extra blanket on the bed tonight. The temperature is plunging as we speak.
Frigid blast of winter weather slamming into Oklahoma tonight. Mike Morgan, what are we facing?
Linda, temperatures and wind chills are really dropping off tonight. Skies are partly cloudy here in the metro. Take a look at the current readings right here in central Oklahoma, and since sunset, they've continued their free fall in the downward direction. It's already down to 19 degrees over in El Reno, 21 in Guthrie right now, and Norman has 25 degrees, Purcell's 27. Even colder weather building into all of northwestern Oklahoma. Woodward 17, Alva 18 right now, Enid 18, Stillwater 22. You factor in a strong increasing northerly wind. These are the wind chill factors. Is this what you want to dress for tomorrow morning? Wind chill of 2 in Alva, and it feels like 0 right now in Guyman. Our wind chill outside here in the metro is 12 degrees. The forewarned storm team's Meg Alexander joins us live tonight for what you can do to prepare for the cold weather. Meg?
Well, Mike, with these cold temperatures, a lot of people are worried about heating their homes, especially with the high cost of natural gas. So they're looking for other ways to do so. Well, before you do that, we do have a warning. Let's take a look at some video. This is from earlier this evening, the 8900 block of Shannon Avenue. That's where they tell us a house fire happened, the cause of fire in the fireplace. We know there are 3 people in the home, and they did make it out safely, but next time, that may not be the case. So firefighters are asking all of us, before we do turn to our fireplaces or we take out our space heaters, they're asking us to realize that by trying to save a buck, we may be risking a life.
Oklahoma City firefighters rolling out to another call. Worried high heating costs and a cold snap will mean more fire calls due to people using cheaper heating methods. A Metro family using a fireplace led to this fire Tuesday morning. The homeowner then placed the ashes on her porch in a paper bag.
Placing those ashes in the bag, they of course were still smoldering. They burned through the bag and caught the back of the house on fire.
Monday morning, an Oklahoma City man died in this fire. Investigators say the house was filled with space heaters.
She got one of her little sister's blankets backed up toward the fire, and the next thing I knew, I heard her screaming, and it was just up in flames. I tried to throw her on the floor, but I went and stopped her in the bathtub. So I got her and my 3-year-old who ran across the street to call out for help.
This Chickasha mother praying for her child who is critically burned by an open flame heater. All reasons to think twice before shunning natural gas for potentially dangerous options.
As far as using alternative heating sources, I would really advise against that. Use your central heat and air system as much as possible if that's what you have installed. Turn it down a little bit. Use blankets to try to stay warm. Wear more layers of clothing.
Now, if you do have to use an alternative source of heat, firefighters tell us that your best bet is an electric space heater, one of the newer models, the kind that if it falls down, it will turn off. Also, you need to remember space heaters need space. You need to keep everything at least 3 feet away from them, and always unplug it when you're sleeping or when you leave your home. Back to you, Mike.
Meg Alexander live tonight. You do want to wrap those faucets tonight or tomorrow morning and also drip the hot and the cold water as the cold air comes rushing in. Pipes could freeze later tonight or during the daylight hours tomorrow. Now, the other half of this, in addition to the bitterly cold temperatures, is the precipitation. Travelers advisories in orange and winter storm watches continue in blue. Winter storm watches for much of northern Texas as well, going to winter storm warnings for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, including some ice. So there may be some flight delays in DFW, Dallas-Love Field, also up near Kansas City, and up toward Denver, where the current temperature is 0. Tonight, the storm is developing, but I can tell you right now it's a little slow to develop, and the snow is awfully far to the northwest. So we're going to track the updated snow totals, let you know what to expect snowfall-wise and also cold temperature-wise coming up with that complete forecast in weather.
Thank you, Mike. And now on Crime Watch, authorities are searching for a missing boy, but in doing so, turned up something else entirely. NewsChannel 4's Allie Meyer is live with more on that search. Allie?
Well, Linda, it all started as a missing person case. A teen boy disappeared from Caddo County. Deputies one county over tried to help in the search and ended up helping themselves.
It all started with an alert deputy on duty for the Grady County Sheriff's Department.
Heard radio traffic about a missing child out of Caddo County.
The deputy suspected the missing teen could be hiding out in Chickasha. He checked a home where he thought the teen had friends.
They noticed in plain sight some drugs and paraphernalia.
The deputy arrested 3 people from that home. A 4th, who wasn't home, had outstanding felony warrants. So the deputy tracked him to this house a few blocks away. The deputy picked up the suspect, but again they found drugs and made a 5th arrest.
Yes, it does consistently surprise me that things aren't put away, but it's not unusual.
Though the search wasn't over yet, another tip led detectives to this home where they arrested a 6th person for, yes, drug charges.
It started as a missing juvenile, and it went from there to 6 arrests, 3 different locations.
Susie Jackson, the 6th arrest, tells us the drugs were planted in her bags, and she believes the missing person investigation was a lie to get access to 3 homes.
I don't believe that's a true story. It's just a reason they had to maybe go in.
I talked with authorities at several local police departments in Caddo County. They tell me there was, in fact, a missing teen. He was from Seaman. He has been found. Kevin.
All right, Allie, thank you. We have new details involving legal wrangling surrounding the death of an Oklahoma child. We're talking about Kelsey Briggs, the 2.5-year-old Meeker girl who was beaten to death October 11th after months of reported child abuse. Her stepfather is the only person so far accused of killing the child by punching or kicking her in the stomach. New tonight, why he now wants money from the child's mother, Ray Dawn Porter. News Channel 4's Cherokee Ballard continues to investigate the story. Joining us now from the newsroom, Cherokee, why does he want it and how much money?
Well, Kevin, I've obtained these court documents today. In them, Michael Porter asked the court to make Ray Dawn pay him money for spousal support. And he also asked the court to prevent her from selling anything he owns while he sits in jail.
Months before Kelsey died, her legs were broken, her body battered, covered in bruises. The little child lived with her mother and stepfather, who were only married in April. These pictures were taken that day inside the courthouse. But the happy life of Mr. and Mrs. Porter came to an abrupt end. Kelsey's death, his arrest. Sitting in jail, he filed for divorce from Ray Dawn 6 months after they said "I do." In these court documents, Michael Porter asks the court to keep Ray Dawn from selling this house, the very house where Kelsey died. It once belonged to Ray Dawn's mother and was sold to Ray Dawn and Michael for more than $350,000. Porter also wants to keep Ray Dawn from withdrawing any money from any retirement, profit sharing, or pension plan. He also wants her to not be able to change the beneficiary on any life insurance plan and wants to keep her from opening or diverting his mail. He goes on to request his personal belongings and his children's personal belongings, including his 8-year-old daughter Whitney's journals from this year. He also wants his wallet that had $200 in it, and requests all of his kids' pictures and Whitney's bedroom furniture. And finally, he wants Ray Dawn to pay him temporary spousal support, and he filed to have her pay $1,500 worth of his attorney's fees.
I tried to contact attorneys in this case, specifically Paul Sutton, Michael Porter's attorney, to find out more about this temporary trial the first week of January. We continue to uncover new developments daily. Linda?
Good job, Cherokee. Thank you. Now, we've told you the state tax rebate checks are in the mail, but if you've already received yours, you might want to check it. Some of the 1.2 million checks were accidentally printed on plain white paper. Looks like a photocopy of the colored check. Well, it also leaves off several markings that you can see on the colored checks. But the white checks do have legitimate magnetic numbers on the bottom of the checks that make it real. The state treasurer's office is investigating. They say you can try to cash the check, but they prefer you don't.
We would prefer, though, that people who have received these checks on the plain paper, that they contact our office, that they call us, so that we can cancel those checks and issue them new ones.
Now, check with your bank, but many banks are refusing to cash them. If you received one of those white checks, you can call the state treasurer's office.
Well, trouble tonight for one Oklahoma community. Listen to this list. First, the town city hall was overtaken by mold. Then the mayor was charged with assault. Now several elected officials have resigned. All of this took place in a matter of months in the town of Luther. That's just east of Edmond on Highway 66. Tonight, some residents in Luther say they're fed up and they're fighting to restore their town's reputation. News Channel 4 Scott Hines took our mobile newsroom to eastern Oklahoma County for this story.
Well, this community's reputation has been dragged through the mud. Now several concerned residents want to set this story straight. Luther, Oklahoma, a small, quiet town catapulted into the public eye. The press has been less than flattering.
Everything that's been in the media lately has been very negative.
We've been called inbred, which is not true.
Luther's trouble started back in July when the town's city hall was shut down after mold was discovered growing inside. A month later, Luther's mayor, Richard Smith, was charged with assaulting a town police officer.
But I didn't.
Then, just last week, Luther's chief of police resigned. And now a city council member and his wife, Luther's code enforcement officer, has also called it quits. Now a group of concerned residents want to lay the rumors to rest. Their defense starts with their mayor's good name.
I think it's very important that everyone concerned knows that, by and large, Richard has the support of this community.
They say at no time did Mayor Smith raise his hand to an officer, and that it should be city council members, not the mayor, apologizing for the town's recent debacle.
When we started asking questions, they took it out on the mayor, because he was trying to help the people.
They say they elected people to represent them, then didn't watch those officials carefully, a mistake they are warning others to watch out for.
It could happen in their town real easy by not being involved.
They've even taken their concerns straight to the state capitol, at one time even asking state auditors to go over the city's books. Back to you.
Thank you, Scott. As for the mayor, he is still charged with assault and battery, although he has numerous eyewitnesses who back up his claim that he never assaulted the police officer. As for the town council, as we said, one member resigned last week. He refused comment tonight. Luther residents recently voted in 2 new council members as well as a new town clerk.
Next, in weather.
With wind chill factors already down to near 10 degrees here in the metro, we're going to take the latest look at the latest track of tomorrow's snow and also how cold the temperatures will go. What you need to prepare. Your forecast next.
Plus, a mystery that's haunted an Oklahoma family for more than 30 years now, finally solved tonight. The bittersweet ending. Next.
And is there a legal loophole that can allow a suspended Shawnee quarterback to make the state playoffs? Up next, what you think about the latest twist to this case.
You are watching Oklahoma's News Channel 4 at 10 with Linda Cavanaugh, Kevin Ogle, the forewarned Storm Team's Mike Morgan, Bob Berry Jr. with sports, and Brad Edwards in your corner.
Since 1968, an Oklahoma family has lived with a mystery. What happened to Air Force Sergeant Pat Shannon? Well, 30 years ago, he left to serve his country in Vietnam, never came home. Tonight, his family may finally have some answers. The military now says it has used DNA testing to identify a portion of the airman's leg bone. The bone was found last year near Laos. Now, the airman's daughter says the family is now planning a funeral that will take place in Oklahoma City this spring.
Now, tonight's rant with Kevin Ogle.
Well, you know it by now. Tucker Brown suspended from the state playoffs for kicking another player. But according to the rules, he can only be suspended from regularly scheduled games, not necessarily playoff games. Just legal maneuvering on the parts of the lawyers or a legitimate reason for the Shawnee quarterback to go ahead and play. Chrissy from Midwest City starts us off. I say let him play. Boys will be boys, and I'm sure he isn't the only one who got physical. He was just the only one that got caught. Kristen from Shawnee. I personally think this thing is going too far. The fact is this wasn't something severe enough for the Supreme Court of Oklahoma. Kathy in Shawnee, their rule book clearly differentiates the penalty for the level of infraction. Tucker's infraction merits a penalty of setting out the next 2 regularly scheduled games. If he came off the bench to fight, the penalty would include playoff games. Click on the OSSAA website and read the rules for yourself. But listen to Angie from Edmond. Give me a break. Well, our children have to actually learn what it is to take responsibility for their actions. A kick is a kick is a kick, playoffs or not. Debbie from Shawnee. What good are rules if people are always looking for loopholes to break them? Ralph from Oklahoma City. The player broke the rules. Now the lawyers are trying to find a way to let the player play. It's nitpicking. Finally, Bob from Oklahoma City. Double standards and loopholes teach nothing of value to a student. I compare what they are doing to grounding a child from taking the family car but letting him take a motorbike. One way or the other, he's rewarded for bad behavior. So that's what you think about this case. We will, of course, let you know what the state Supreme Court decides on this.
The most accurate forecast with the forewarned storm team's Mike Morgan.
The coldest weather in the month of December now coming into Oklahoma since the decade of the 1980s. That's how cold it's going to get. Let's take a look at our view outside tonight, and it's already chilling down. Our current temperature checking in the mid-20s. The wind chill index is 10 degrees with 24 degrees, and the winds are northeasterly at 18. Our humidity is 55%. Earlier today, the sunshine was nice, 38 degrees. That was our daytime high, and the morning low temperature was 20. We're already down to 19 in El Reno. Current temperatures here, 21 in Guthrie and Perkins. Norman has 25 and Shawnee is 23 degrees. We have temperatures near freezing in far southeastern Oklahoma. Then you drop into the mid-20s. Then you drop into the lower teens. It's 12 right now in Guymon, 17 in Woodward now. And the wind chill factor is already dropping down to near 0 degrees. In a large part of northwestern Oklahoma, wind chill up around Garfield County 3 and 4-degree wind chill in Ponca for tonight. So the Oklahoma City timeline for this winter weather coming up. Tonight, it will be dry. Your morning drive will also be completely dry, including the bus stop, but it will be bitter cold. Midday tomorrow, say around noontime or early afternoon. The metro, that's when the snow will begin. 1 to 3, that's been our continued forecast. It may very easily be 1 to 2 here in Oklahoma City. We've been kind of leaning down toward that 1 to 2 inch total. The snow not looking too impressive tonight, and the wind chill factor by tomorrow evening will be 0 here in Oklahoma City. So the big news really is the big time cold weather. It's 2 degrees in Denver right now, not including a wind chill, 7 in Goodland, 11 in Dodge City, and 16 in Wichita, as this entire mass of Arctic air now spilling into Oklahoma. I do want to show you, though, the snow. It is still way to the northwest, and it's looking pretty light. There's a lot of dry air here in Oklahoma, and it's going to be tough to really get the snow to go. Now, we should see about an inch or so here in Oklahoma City. A stretch might be about 2 to 2.5, but a lot of blowing snow around, but bitterly cold temperatures. Heavier snow will fall in northern Oklahoma up near the Kansas-Oklahoma border, but we still have a winter storm watch in effect, and there will be travel delays down around Dallas and Waco, Fort Worth, with ice and snow developing during the daylight hours tomorrow. So travelers advisories in orange, and I wouldn't recommend any travel to the north into Kansas tonight or tomorrow. Quite a bit of snow, very cold temperatures. Winter storm watch in blue, including central, northern, and southern Oklahoma. That does include the metro. Here's the computer forecast on Future Track. The heavier snow goes across Kansas during the daylight hours tomorrow. 6 below in Denver by morning. 3 in Dodge City, 7 in Wichita, some serious cold air here, and then snow across central and northern Oklahoma tomorrow into tomorrow evening, and then daytime highs will be in the single digits, the low teens in Kansas. Very cold weather for this time of year, and then ice will develop in Dallas, changing over to snow later in the day. As we take a look at the snow totals through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, notice most of the snow across Kansas, and there'll be a little snow coming across the border by early tomorrow morning around sunrise, and then by 7 p.m. Wednesday, 1 to 2, maybe 3-inch snow total here, and then 2 to 4, maybe a localized 5-inch total over here. The heavier snow up there in northeastern Oklahoma, where there could be about 5 inches of snow. How about the lows tonight? Mid-20s to near 5 in Guymon. So you do want to dress in layers tomorrow morning and really bundle up. High chance of snow tomorrow in the bright white. Temperatures bitterly cold, strong winds, some blowing snow around. 32 in Ardmore, 18 in Clinton, Enid 16 for highs. These are lows by Thursday morning, near 0 in Woodward, about 3 in Enid, 4 in Ponca City. So you do want to drip your faucets, both the warm and the cold faucets, right on through Friday. And here are the latest snow totals here, about 4 inches up in northeastern Oklahoma, 3 in McAllister, and about 1 to 2 now here in Oklahoma City. So 16 degrees tonight. Snow begins around noontime tomorrow, Kev, after the drive is over in the morning.
Okay.
And then that looks like winter right there, doesn't it? 18 will be an afternoon temperature with some blowing snow around. And again, 1 to 2 for the metro, the way things are looking. The heavier snow to the north and to the east. And look at these temperatures, down to 7 on Thursday and 7 on Friday. Now, Saturday will warm up to 45, so that'll be a nice thaw. Now, the latest indications are cold air comes right back in Sunday. That 46 looks too warm on Sunday, and then we could see snow again for next week. David Payne has all your weather tomorrow morning, along with Ken Ogle bright and early. Any school closings, things like that, we'll keep close track of that. But and cold winter day tomorrow.
With those temperatures, the snow will stay on the street.
It'll all stick, kind of blow around.
All right. Thank you.
We've got sports coming up next. Stay with us.